Hey, I just got back from lunch. Did you finish that report yet?
Well, not exactly. Still working on it. I'm not finished just yet. I got a little sidetracked, but I will get them to you first thing this afternoon.
It is first thing this afternoon.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but I mean, I am working on
But
it. I'll have.
what do you mean that the report isn't finished yet?
I'm still in the process of working on it. I've just been a little distracted.
Distracted. Our meeting starts in an hour.
I can have it.
No. What were you doing? Were you listening to another hunting podcast again? I swear, I give the staff in this office the freedom to do whatever they want to do as long as they meet a deadline. That is the first bullet underneath your job description. Pays attention to detail and deadlines. And deadlines. Dude, are you even listening to me right now?
Welcome to episode 174 of the Whitetail Distraction Podcast. My name's Austin, and joining me in the pod port, the garage of goodness, Charles Hedlund. How you doing, buddy?
I've never been better. I'm so good. I'm fired up, man.
I bet you are.
Oh, it's freaking turkey season, dude.
Yeah.
It's freaking turkey season. I am extremely excited. As you're listening to this one, I'm probably going to be in the woods somewhere.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So that's how I'm doing. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, buddy.
Yeah.
Beautiful rainy night here in Pennsylvania.
Will the rain ever stop?
Do you see my pile of boxes that I haven't been able to burn because it hasn't stopped raining for 18 months?
So mine looked the same, and I took all those boxes out and we put them in the back of the truck, and we were going to go drop them off in a dumpster for cardboard. Well, we didn't get to that, so I take all those boxes back out of the truck because I need the truck bed for my trip.
Nice.
Yeah. So, which is another reminder that I better make sure when I get home that I grab my thermocell, or I'll be in trouble.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh boy, that'd be bad. But yeah, dude, I don't know. I think I'm gonna build an ark. I think it's time.
You might need one.
We're gonna need one.
Yeah.
You should see it. It's ridiculously flooded again out there.
Well, you know how it was. You came walking in, you're like, dude, there's a river I have to step across.
There was.
I almost started trout fishing.
I swear I went past a puddle today and I saw a fish jump in someone's front yard. It's that bad.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy. Oh, well. Well, you know what's good about all this rain?
What's good about all this rain?
We have Nebo rain jackets.
We do have Nebo rain jackets.
So we're going to be dry.
That's a hell of a jacket, too.
It really is.
You know what else is a hell of a thing?
What?
Nebo rain jackets are on sale.
Nah.
They are.
Oh, my Lanta. They
Big
are on sale.
Old spring sale going on over at Scree Gear.
Damn.
Look at that bad boy.
Dude, they're
Look
like
at
$60 off.
I know.
Holy moly. You can get a Nebo rain jacket right now for under $150.
Yeah, dude.
That is a steal.
That is a steal.
First off, it's almost turkey season.
It
for
is.
real. Like in some places it is. And it's going to be rainy. We've already seen plenty of that. That jacket breathes better than any rain jacket that I've ever worn. Hands down.
Oh, yeah.
The noise level is probably lower than any jacket
Oh, 100%.
that I've ever worn that actually keeps you dry.
Yes.
I've worn rain gear that's really quiet. Guess what it doesn't do?
Breathe.
It doesn't breathe, and it doesn't keep you dry.
It's because you're just sweating to death.
Yeah. It's like that old school suede stuff that they used to have.
Oh,
You know what
yeah.
I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That would just get drenched in a matter of 20 minutes. The Nebo rain jacket, that thing is like the best of all worlds. The nice part is you can pack it down and throw it right in your turkey vest.
I agree, man.
You're running a backpack, throw it in the backpack.
It's like nothing.
Yeah, I remember wearing that thing for miles, walking around all over. It wasn't even raining half the time,
Felt
but
good.
it felt fine, so I didn't have to take it off, put it back on, take it off, because that's a pain in the ass too.
It
When
is.
you have a vest on and whatnot. So it's one of my favorite jackets. of
I'm
all
with
time.
you, buddy. I like it a lot.
What else you got over there, man?
Oh, my good googling
Since we're
googly.
taking care of some biz.
We are taking care of business. Oh, man. VIP archery, buddy.
Yeah, the best.
The best in the business.
The best.
You don't want to get any Freddy Krueger blood on your brand new hoodie from VIP archery.
Oh, I personally own that hoodie.
It's a nice hoodie, man.
It is extremely nice. It's heavy. It's a nice heavyweight hoodie.
Yeah.
So when it's cold, like that thing will keep you warm. And it looks great.
It does. Look at that logo popping on that bad
Mhm.
boy.
I love it. There's something about like a black hoodie with real nice, colorful design to it. I'm a big fan.
I am too. I mean, honestly, any of their apparel is nice. They got nice looking hats. They got koozies.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that t-shirt right there.
Long sleeve, short sleeve. It's, yeah. I mean, we talk about their broadheads all the time. We really don't touch enough on this. The apparel is top notch.
I would 100% agree.
Very nice. Very nice.
Very nice.
Next.
You know what else is very nice?
What? Food
Chicory and clover blends from Back 40 Seco.
I can't argue that. I cannot argue that. They are very nice.
They are very nice. Look at that beautiful packaging right
About
there.
this time of year, they're going to be starting to kind of pop and start to grow. You're going to start seeing that clover and chicory in that small phases coming up through. It's warming up. We got the rain. I mean, if you haven't done it yet,
Probably not frost eating anymore, but this
no.
clover and chicory, I mean, it's good to plant, March through June,
Mm-hmm.
August through October-ish.
I mean, we're right in there.
We're right in there right now.
Yeah, we're in that sweet spot of getting that in the ground. So why not go out there? I mean, yeah, you got to do a little more work now, but get the seed spread, get that soil contact. You have the rain, it's going to grow. And then turkey season comes in about a month for us. And what is the date? Yeah, almost. Well, we're a little
The 11th, we're a little past. We're under a month.
Oh, baby, a few weeks away. Might just start be sprouting up for that opener.
I'll tell you what, we're getting closer to the opener. Go out and till your ground.
Mhm.
Turkeys love fresh till ground, and throw that seed in there.
Boom.
Be ready for deer season.
Yeah, it'll be ready for all seasons. Clover is king, man.
I know it is. There's going to be a bunch of
100%.
bugs in there. It'd be great.
Oh, it'll be phenomenal.
Fantastic. You know what else is fantastic?
Well, when you're trying to get those turkeys into that clover plot, you got to have a call in your mouth.
You know what's a great call?
I do know a few of them.
The Red Ghost from A&F Custom Calls.
Dude, I have personally been trying this call, and I know you have as well. That is a fantastic sounding call.
It really is, man.
I know when Kyle promised me that this call was different sounding than the other ghost cut, I was like, all right, I'll give it a try. It really does have a total different sound to it.
I would agree. I would 100% agree.
I don't know if it's the red latex. I don't know if he's clipping, the pointy part where the ghost comes down to meet. He's kind of clipping those at like a little 45-degree angle. And it gives that just like that sweet, sweet sound.
Sweet, sweet sound.
I love ghost cuts for one. That's
I do too.
my
I'm a
favorite
big fan.
call. By far, my favorite call. It's the one I run 98% of the time.
I'm stuck in between that and a Batwing, but
Me
I
too.
do have a special affinity for that ghost.
Yeah, so do I. I would put the Batwing in for its own scenarios, but like every single morning when I need that soft,
Oh yeah.
that that higher pitched, either the bubble clucks or whatever from the limb, soft stuff, I go ghost cut.
I would agree with you, my man.
Take a little bit of the rasp out of it.
Yeah.
A lot of them birds, like when they're waking up, they just that little soft, like burp, burp, burp. Yeah, you can get that perfect with the ghost cut.
It's just beautiful, man. Turning turkeys into ghosts.
Oh, I like that. You're welcome, Kyle.
You are welcome.
Turn turkeys into ghosts with an A&F ghost cut.
Yeah. Boom. You should put a little ghost logo on there.
Yeah, kablammy.
Just a little ooh.
Little Casper
Little Casper.
right on there.
He's a friendly ghost.
Yeah. That call is not friendly to
No.
the turkeys, though. I will say that much, Bill. There you go. There's business.
That is the business.
So now that that's out of the way, who we got this week? We're talking turkeys. We got to have someone good.
We are talking turkeys, and this is one like I was super excited about it when you brought it up. It's hard to beat. I mean, how can you get any better than the Bayside Legion when it comes to turkey?
I don't know. I don't know.
I know it's one of your favorite shows on YouTube.
It truly is.
Yeah.
It truly is. I mean, I do not miss a Bayside. I know I follow like 3 or 4 different groups. When they all drop at the same time, Bayside Legion's number one.
Bayside Legion.
They are the first click every single time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm fully addicted to them.
There's some good news coming out of Bayside Legion too, so we're gonna get into it here right quick. But Derek Anderson is in the truck on the way
How crazy is that?
to talk to some turkeys.
Yeah. How crazy is that? We caught him mid-season hunting already for him.
Yeah.
You'll hear it in the episode. He's already hunted in 2 different states. He came into this year 3 states away from his 49th state U.S. Super Slam. Like,
Unreal.
dude, how exciting. I know when we had Bonce on, we were he was getting close and the excitement was up. And dude, we got to get Derek on. Let me just reach out to him and just see what he's doing. Like, I didn't want to miss that opportunity, this window. You only get this once.
Yes.
Like, this is a very specific window of where he's at in his journey, where he's at in that whole process of chasing the slam. I mean, he's staring history in the face.
He certainly is.
From
man.
the Walmart parking lot.
From the Walmart parking lot right now. Oh, man. Let's let him tell the story, huh?
Yeah, let's do it. We got to get into this one. All right, guys, we are back, and we are with Mr. Derek Anderson, the legend himself from the Bayside Legion. Oh, man, I couldn't be more fired up. Let's just put it that way. I am literally like giddy right now. I don't know if you can see it, but I am shaking a little bit, like in excitement. Derek, we caught you in like this perfect time where you're traveling. You're kind of between hunts right now. What is going on, man? How are you? How you feeling?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a fun season already, and I'm out here doing the thing that I love most, and that's traveling around chasing turkeys. So it's a good time to be here.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that, man. I know. I've been fired up about it, but Charles over here, like he said, he's shaking. He's so fired up. But dude, I'm excited to have you on, man. I've always been excited to get you guys on, and I think it's gonna be a good one.
Heck yeah. Yeah, we love having you guys on. I know we've talked about it. You've been on a couple of different episodes in the past, and, with Bonce and yourself. And, I was like, we got to get Derek in this mindset of what's going on. And we'll tease it a little bit and we'll get back to where you're at currently. But man, you've had such a heck of a season already. And it's like, I haven't even put my back against a tree yet. Like, this is insane, man.
Yeah. What are you waiting on, man? Their season's open. Get out there.
I know. I missed my Florida hunt this year. I went last year, and that would have been my earliest one. I just skipped it this year to do Virginia. So Virginia will be a new state for me. I've been there one time. I hunted one day. So it'll be fun to get down there and chase a couple birds for a couple days. I can't wait. Watching other guys and watching people like you with your success, it just has me absolutely floored, like through the roof, unreal. So look, we got to get into it, man. We got to jump into your season and kind of kick us off with where it all started. Coming into the year, we'll just lay the groundwork for you real quick. Like, you had 3 states, right? You were looking at very, very manageable 3 states away. Where was your head at, man?
Like anything, I don't like to count chickens before they hatch, and only being 3 states is fine. But when one of those 3 is Louisiana, I know very well how that can go. So, I mean, that gets your nerves going. I don't know. We put a lot of pressures on ourselves trying to do this thing, and like it's very possible that something doesn't check out, and that's fine. I mean, it's all part of the game. That's why we love it. But definitely gets you anxious going into it for sure. But yeah, had Arizona, Louisiana, and Kentucky left, and I started the season towards the end of March, flying out to Arizona, and was able to have a really great hunt with a bird there, and was able to bring him home with me. So checked off Arizona, and then started a 2-week stint that I'm on currently, and headed down to Louisiana first. Was there for the night before the opener and then opening day, and on Monday morning, I was able to tie one down there and check off Louisiana. So that kind of took the relief of Louisiana being what it is off of me a little bit. And that was a really, really good feeling.
Yeah.
That was a really good one.
I bet. Louisiana is kind of one of those notorious states, too, for being pretty dang difficult. So, congratulations on that, man.
Yeah, it can be. It can also be like, I've talked to a couple people about this. I know a handful of people that have walked into Louisiana and killed a bird first day. Bonce being one of them.
Yeah.
It's like, it just seems to be, if it's in your card, like that's what you pull, great. Or like I hunted it last year for 9 days, consecutive days, and it just whooped me. So I was glad to get that monkey off my back a little bit this year.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, 9 days hunting and getting skunked. That is
That is
first
a kick
of
in
all,
the balls, dude.
that is a kick for sure. But like having the persistence to go 9 days and just that's tough, man. Then you got to go back to next year and you wonder if it's going to happen this year. And wow, absolute persistence, man.
Yep.
Yeah, 9 days is rough. I mean, if guys don't know, like you guys are scheduling a bunch of states in a year with minimal time off. So like to use 9 days in one state, that's a lot. I know you guys really do pack these in tight, and you try to jump from state to state to state. So that would be one that I'd be scared of. But I'm glad the revenge tour so far worked out for you, at least in that state. And it seems like it happened pretty quick. I want to kind of dive into these hunts too, because we got a whole podcast we can fill with turkey talk, and I can't wait for that. So yeah, let's dive in right off the bat. You said Arizona. You were down there in March, you said, I believe, and it didn't seem like it took you a whole lot of time. But what all goes into that hunt? Because Arizona is not close to Maryland. I know that much. Yeah.
Well, Arizona, I was fortunate. I kind of knew a little bit about it because I hunted there last year also.
Mm-hmm.
Fun theme about this entire season as far as the states that I have left. They're all 3 return states because I hunted them and did not kill last year. So Arizona played around 3 days last year. I was in birds. I felt like I was struggling a little bit, but it's funny because I can go back and watch the video and say it doesn't seem like I was doing that bad. It seemed like I had pretty decent action, but I just know for the bulk of it, I really felt like I was scratching and clawing just to get the opportunities that I had. And I briefly had a window last year and I didn't capitalize on it. And that's why I'm going, or had to go back. But, so I had a ballpark idea on where I wanted to go. So I got a tag situated, and obviously that's one I did not drive out to. I had to fly for that one because I'm trying to maximize the time that I have available. So I did give myself a scout day on that one. So I flew in the Thursday night, giving myself all of Friday to be able to scout, locate birds, figure out where they're using, because Miriam's, it's not like an eastern bird where it's a little more reliable for them to be in the same area. So I wanted that flexibility to be able to cover ground and make sure that I was able to get into turkeys. So gave myself that extra day. It also helped that I had a couple friends that were going to be in the same area. So was able to use that, hang out with them for a little bit and catch up, which was cool.
Heck yeah.
That camp life aspect of it is a really cool part of the traveling the turkey hunt thing. And it's something that, while heavily engaged in the slam, I've kind of missed out a lot of times because so often I'm just doing this in my truck and like I'm not really spending time with other folks. But so it's cool to be able to catch up with that. I did that last couple of days hanging out with Jacob in Georgia. And that's been fun to be able to do. But so that was a good one. So yeah, the Friday before the opener was able, and this is living out of a rental car, so that's probably my least favorite thing in the world to do.
Right.
I'm very comfortable in my truck. I have a nice setup, cot in the back ordeal. It's very comfortable. I could do this for weeks, and obviously I do. And it's my go-to. But when you take myself out of that element, put you in a rental car with, you're sharing the back space with a gun case and a suitcase, you're crammed in. I think I have a pretty good system, but it is not ideal at all. So that's miserable living, and it's expensive.
Right. Absolutely.
So
I gotta stop you and I gotta ask, how are you camping out of a little rental car?
All right. So here's the system. I got I think it's a 4-inch inflatable pad, a sleeping pad or sleeping bag that I use as the padding in my gun case when I fly, along with my hunting clothes in the gun case packed in tight. So yeah, and then I pack a pillow too, and that's shared. I get a standard SUV. I think it was in a Nissan Rogue this time. It actually worked out pretty well. fold the seat down flat, and there's where you sleep.
Nice.
That must be one hell of a gun case to fit all that stuff in there. I mean,
It's a big gun.
yeah, dude, you're really packing her in. I mean, not wasting any space at all. That's a great idea. I know when I flew, it's nice to kind of use that gun space because that's a checked item.
Yeah.
So you're losing a bag. So as much stuff as you can get in there, the better. The problem probably comes whenever, TSS decides they want to check your gun and they have to open that thing up and then try to get all your stuff back in there.
Man, on the flight back, I watched the TSA guy in Phoenix because they don't run it through a scanner. They have somebody take care of it all by hand. And I watched him in the process, and he opens it up and takes every little article of clothing, and I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be a disaster because I'm very meticulous in how this goes together.
Yeah.
And he nailed it. Like, I have not seen anybody put that much effort into making sure that it was exactly how they took it out. And he did a phenomenal job. I gotta tip my hat to that guy.
Good for him. You know how I know turkey's on my brain? I said TSS instead of TSA.
You did.
That's how much turkey's on my brain right now. Dude, you have no idea. Like, I am just, oh, man.
I wasn't going to correct you on that.
I caught it. Maybe there was TSS in there, maybe.
Well, there was.
See? There you have it. So let's break down the hunt then. That's first off, that's great advice for people that are going to travel and hunt. So little nugget there for everybody listening. But let's break down the hunt in Arizona, opening morning. What are we looking at?
Well, the day before, I heard a good bit of birds, and very, very similar to the area that I hunted last year. There was bird roosted in a similar spot. So I'm like, all right, that's good. Got a feel for things, liked the situation, went back out that evening and slipped into roost. And I just go up this creek bottom thinking, all right, he comes back, he's going to be between these two patches of pines. And I just kind of kept my distance to a spot that I could glass the hillside. And right before dark, I see turkeys on the far hillside, watch them fly up into the trees. It was one gobbler, one longbeard following 8 hens. So when I got several different opportunities to pick different birds, I picked a gobbler with 8 hens. I found that interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, you like a challenge. Why not?
Yeah.
But it's very, very early in the season this time of year, or that time of year. So there's so many of these groups that are just really, really, really flocked up. So that was a more broken up group than most of what was available. So really wasn't too awful. But yeah, watched them fly up. So didn't know the exact tree he was in because I was far enough away I couldn't tell which bird was him. But I had a really good idea. So opening morning, I got up well before light and just started working up that bottom and then got into that group of pines. Couldn't exactly pick out turkeys up in the silhouetted or anything. So I used my best judgment to sit down, and I'm sitting up I had some overhead cover because I knew I was tight underneath these birds. And I start hearing a scratching, like sounded like something was trying to climb a pine tree. And I'm like, what is that noise? And it's going on and going on. It's like, is this like, I don't know, some kind of critter? Is it another hunter? Maybe they heard that bird fly up, because that bird never gobbled the night before. Other birds gobbled, but he did not. Like, maybe they heard him and they're slipping in here. It's like, I didn't know what was happening. And it took me the longest time before I realized it was him strutting. And every time his wings would go down, it would knock into the bark on the limb.
Oh.
And it was making a very loud sound that it took me the longest time to figure out that it was that turkey doing that.
Oh, man.
Probably sound like a porcupine or a coon coming up the tree. Yeah.
That makes sense, though. You take like one of those, like fly down, like one of those wings, and you scratch it on a tree. I mean, it is loud.
It is loud.
It's not quiet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but it starts to get light, and he starts gobbling, and he's no more than 50 yards from me. And I'm like, all right, this is a pretty good situation. And then it's getting light enough. I'm kind of looking, at other trees, and like, okay, I got a hen there at about 15 yards. I got a hen here at about 10 yards, like picking the different shapes out, and he's just gobbling away. Other birds are gobbling. And when it comes time to fly down, he pitches out to the hillside above me, which I kind of expected him to do. But then the hen started pitching down to a little opening to my right, which is what I wanted him to do. So they all went down to the opening right in front of me, and I'm like, he's going to join them. He's going to come. Mm-hmm. And sure as anything, he turns and he just starts strutting down the hill, but he's a little bit on the farther edge of things. Comes down, meets up with the hens. I would say he's probably in that 45 to 50 yard motion there. And I'm like, all right, they just got to work this way a little bit. I haven't called yet. And eventually I thought a couple of the hens started to kind of go over the hill. So I yelped and he gobbled. And then it's like they said, nah. And they just started moving. And when Miriams decide to move, they move quick.
Yeah.
So next thing I know, it's like, oh, there went my opportunity again. And they slipped off and they kind of went quiet for a while. And a lot of the turkeys went quiet very quickly after flying down. But I'm like, crap. And I tried to move up a little bit. Couldn't get them to gobble. Wasn't sure where they disappeared to. And then a little bit goes by and I hear them gobble up on the ridge. So I'm like, all right. So I climb up on the ridge, start running down that way. Gobbled maybe another time, give me a good direction to pinpoint, and kind of worked up this ridge to them and got going with a hen pretty good. She started answering me very well. And we're just kind of going back and forth. And because I knew he was with her, it was very helpful for me being able to keep track of this flock. And just kind of followed him around for a while. And then I made a good move. And as I'm kind of flipping up to him, I see a red spot through an Osage orange tree. And I'm like, that doesn't belong there. And then it's like, that's his head.
Oh,
and he's
no.
he's probably right on the end of being in range right there. But there was no way I was shooting at that point. So I kind of waited for it to move a little bit. Then I slipped up a little closer and tried to get to where I could kind of sit to set up on him. And then I thought I got away with it, and I tried to yelp just to get him to come up over over a little bit of rise, and then he'd be right there, because he didn't have far to go, just a couple steps really. And I did, and there's no turkey. I'm like, all right, give it a little bit. And it's like, one thing with Miriams is they don't stay in one place very long. So when it didn't happen, I'm kind of like, all right, I need to kind of see what's happening here. So if I could crawl up to this tree and just raise up, he should be right there. Of course, by the time I do that, I raise up, not there anymore. I'm like, crap. It's like that was it. That was my chance. And I took too long and I didn't do it. So then I slipped to the front of the tree that I climbed up behind and sat down, and I yelped, and I see a turkey moving out to my right, and then see him strutting right through an opening real quick. And he's not terribly far. He's I would say 45-ish, and the hens are all right there, and he's right with them. And I called a little bit, and next thing I know, I'm trying to pick a window where I don't have the hens, and he gets behind some stuff and I can't see him. And then all of a sudden he's on my right side and he's a lot closer, and it's like, oh, there he is. And there's no hen standing next to him. So swing over real quick, ease down, boom, there it was.
Wow.
And yeah, it was very neat when I go running out after him, and I don't know if it's the elevation or what, or just being excited because of the moment, but I did something I've never done when I shot a turkey, and I dry heaved afterwards.
Oh, man.
So I'm not sure what that was about, but it was interesting.
We're going to say it's a mix of everything. You're excited. It's the altitude.
Your mouth got dry because of the call in there. Yeah, we're gonna call it all that. Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, that's great. What kind of like what kind of habitat and terrain are we talking about here? I mean, Arizona, when I think of it, I think of just like hills, pretty open stuff, some brushy areas. I mean, what kind of areas were you hunting in?
It's a ponderosa pine forest mostly.
Really? Okay.
The turkeys are in the ponderosas. Typically, that's where they're roosting. There's a lot of like brushier sage type stuff mixed in. That Osage orange is pretty popular out there. Like you'll have groves of it. Like on the ridge tops, you have lower trees if you're out of the pines. So actually, where I shot him, like there's a lot of that Osage. So like your tree height might have been like 14 feet tall right there.
Right.
Where he ended up working to, but he was roosting in a good stand of ponderosa. So I mean, there's some really, really good variants there. It's very rocky. Very rocky.
It sounds like a good mix of habitat, all in one little area there. I like that. Any Merriam's too. Any relation to like what South Dakota would look like Badlands, or not Badlands, but like where the hell was I at?
You're in the Badlands.
Well, I was in the Badlands, but I wasn't hunting the Badlands.
Yeah.
No.
Black Hills?
Black Hills.
Black
Thank you.
Hills.
Good
Yeah.
Lord. My head's everywhere. Yeah, the Black Hills.
Black Hills are mostly ponderosas.
Mm-hmm. So you got
at least where I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were very rocky, a lot of ponderosa, that kind of stuff. But dude, that's freaking awesome.
You got a little more, and even in the stands of ponds here, it's just beautiful. It's real spread out trees. I mean, it's tough to move across the stuff because it's so easy to be picked out.
Right.
Definitely. This might be a silly question. I know that it was earlier in the year. It was March. Do you have to worry about snakes that time of the year out there at all?
I wasn't overly concerned about it.
Yeah. I know some people are, some people aren't.
Yeah. The very next day, they got over 6 inches of snow on the same places.
Oh,
So
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. So
I knew that storm was coming.
Yeah.
And like the road that I drove down to get to where I killed my turkey, there's no way if it snowed or rained, I would be able to do that in a rental.
Yeah. So perfect timing.
So that was a big concern. Like I needed to do that before that storm hit. But because I knew folks that stayed during the storm, and they had an interesting time getting around on Sunday.
Oh, man, I can imagine trying to get in and out of there in a Nissan Rogue.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
No.
That's
man.
great.
That's
Well,
awesome.
but
great first hunt, man.
Yeah, it was good because I had that entire following week PTO already mapped out, to where, and my return flight was, I think, Saturday because I wanted to get back before Easter, and I had a rental car booked out that entire time, so it was really nice to be able to cancel that trip early, move my flight up, got out of there on Sunday, was back to work on Monday, and that gave me an extra week to stack on towards the end of turkey season.
Sweet.
Hell yeah.
So that was a good win.
Yeah. So revenge tour, we're going to call it, right? First state down. Got the first state down. Feeling pretty good. It happened quick and perfect timing. I'm sure that front coming in really helped you with some different changes in pressure and whatnot, and birds gobbling and all that good stuff. But then now you got 1 down, 2 to go. Louisiana's up next. I got to hear more about Louisiana because this one was the one that was your thorn in your side.
Well, Louisiana, I got there the night before the opener, so Friday night. I knew several, or I think 2 other guys that had been down. Now, they were hunting different areas than I was, but had been down since earlier in the week. And I think like maybe Wednesday, Thursday, birds talked a little bit. Friday morning sounded like they hadn't talked much. So Friday night, I did a little ground cover to check out a new area that I didn't put eyes on last year that I've been wanting to. Kind of ruled it out, honestly. I didn't like what I saw. So then come Saturday morning, it's opening day. I get up stupid early to try to beat the masses. And a problem that I had last year in Louisiana was it seemed like the area I was hunting, there were a few birds, but they were few and far between. And you'd have these little isolated pockets that had turkeys. Well, every little pocket was very, very well known about. And for every turkey track, there were 10 times as many boot tracks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
And that was just, it was getting pounded. So, and it sucks because if you're from there and that's what you're used to, like you want to be in the game, and they seem to just pile in. It was a little frustrating, but I don't completely fault them because there's just a lot more hunters than there are turkeys. So they're trying to put themselves in it. But like stuff like you park on a trail and then 50 yards down, you got somebody that parks again, or in a big parking area, it would be nothing to have 10 trucks parked in one.
Oh man.
That was going to be my question. Like, where do the ethics, do they go out the window in that kind of scenario where everybody's trying to pile in, or, you know, people coming in on you while you're working a bird, that kind of thing? I guess you can get into that. Maybe that's part of your story, but.
Yeah. I mean, last year, like I always do my point to get there first. And that way, at least whatever happens after that point, it's like, I know you came in on me, so I'm not the asshole.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
But, so opening day, I tried to pick a spot to avoid interaction with people. I didn't go to a big parking area that probably had turkeys that I knew would have 10 trucks at it. So I went to like out of a different spot where it's like, all right, if I get to this one, hopefully nobody parks here, but we'll see how it goes. Get in there, and I'd heard, trucks on the gravel once I get in the woods, and I knew people are coming. But honestly, I didn't have much interaction there with folks. So it went pretty well considering it was opening day. I expected to get messed with more. I heard one other guy call, and he backed away after he heard me. So appreciated him. I mean, that's the best thing you can do in this scenario.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, opening day, did not hear a turkey all day, and covered a good bit of ground. Was trying to be patient with it, sit, call, move a few hundred yards, sit down, call for a little bit, like trying to keep it slow. Just didn't seem like a whole lot was going on, and hunted dark to dark, and nothing really came out of it. Day two, on day one, I did spook a hen. And where I spooked her, I'd seen some dust bowls on the side of the trail. So I made a mark of it, and I'd wanted to come back there for the next morning just because it was some of the better sign that I'd seen. A note from previous year, a lot of the trails were really sandy, but last year it was very soft, and the turkeys made tracks very, very easily.
Yeah.
So I think that's what kept the pressure in a lot of these areas, because they could visibly see, all right, we got turkeys here.
Right.
And this year it had obviously been much drier. So the turkeys weren't leaving tracks when they walked on the trails.
Okay.
So it was harder to find sign, but I think it's a benefit in the long run because people aren't noticing those cues.
Right. If a hen and a gobbler walk past the same spot 50 times in the last 5 days, that's going to look pretty hot for a while. Yeah.
For sure.
Okay.
So anyway, I go to get that spot in the morning, and there's a truck there from Louisiana. There's nobody sitting in it or anything. And I was there very early. So I'm like, dang. So I did the right thing. I backed away, went to a different spot. That was kind of a big trailhead that opened up to a very large area. So I got there, nobody was there, and I just hoofed it as far back in as I possibly could. Didn't hear anything off the roost. Ended up I found a little wet spot, a little puddle that had a handful of turkey tracks in it. So I said, well, this is a good place that I need to sit down for a little bit, which I got to tell you, I absolutely hate deer hunting turkeys.
Oh yeah.
Same.
I hate it. But when nothing is going on, like, what do you do?
Right. Yeah.
So I sat at that puddle of water for a little bit, and I don't know, probably like an hour into it. And I'd called during this process. Probably an hour into it, a Jake comes around the corner and going right to that water, sees me. So he kind of spooks, but I had an opportunity if I'd wanted to take it. Let me tell you, that was a hard pass.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm not one to shoot. I don't want to knowingly shoot a Jake, but that was a hard pass given the circumstance.
Illegal bird, state 48.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that's a tough one. You're on day 11 right now of total hunt days.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that takes something else, man.
That finger gets real itchy real quick.
Yeah.
And I had another tag, so I could have shot it and then kept hunting. But
that's one of them ones. I swear his head just came up over the ridge. I didn't know what he was.
I try to make this point, like the slammers, and there's a mentality sometimes by any means necessary. It's not supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to take that higher road and make sure that that's not the image that we portray.
I really like that, man. Honestly, we joke about it all we want, but I really do like that mindset. I mean, we're still doing this because we respect and love the animal that we chase. And if you lose that, what the hell's the point, right?
Absolutely. But after that Jake walked through, came across a probably 3-foot long copperhead, which was pretty cool.
Oh, man.
Got some good footage of that one. Didn't mess with me. She actually kind of stayed still. Wasn't too bothered by me at all. Saw her before I needed to. But it was a big snake.
Yeah, it's not a fan favorite on this side of the microphone either. Is it, Austin?
See, I'm one of those people. Snakes just they make my skin crawl. Charles over here, he likes looking for rattlesnakes, but I'm not in that fan club.
Right.
Oh man.
So that afternoon, I moved back to that spot I got beat to in the morning, and the truck had cleared out. So I go in there and I get back to where I had spooked that hand, and I made a really big loop because these pines are managed pretty well. They do a block timber management where they burn different tracks, on a 3-year rotation or whatever. So it's pretty neat to have the diversity on this property. And I think the state of Louisiana does a phenomenal job with that. But because of it, like the way I spooked this hen was because the pines were just too open and I was walking across them. So she picked me out bigger than anything. So coming in the afternoon, I made a really big loop to stay completely wide of where that turkey had been, and came in like the longest way possible. And I get in there and kind of sit for the afternoon for the last couple of hours. Didn't have any action. I'm sitting up against a pine tree, and as it gets time, all right, I should have heard a bird fly up by now if I was near one. So I out-hooted a couple times, nothing happened. And then I get up and I start walking to the trail and get to the trail. And I was like, well, I'll give it one more hoot. And I hooted, and wow, he gobbles 100 yards away. And I'm just like, oh my God, that's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is exactly where I want you to be. And it's like, thank you. Thank you to whoever helped that happen. Thank you.
Yeah.
And now I just got to hope nobody else heard it.
Yeah, that
right,
too.
Exactly.
So go back to the truck, nobody's there, and I can't park there and sleep like I'd like to. So I had to go back to the campground, and I get up stupid early because I got beat here yesterday. Ain't doing it again. Now I got a bird roosted. So get in there in the morning, and I mean, I was very, very early. I think I probably sat down in the woods before 4 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
and was sitting where I wanted to be to kill this turkey. And it was a late start. As it started to get light, it took a while. There was a little rain in the forecast, but it wasn't raining yet. And he starts gobbling, and he gobbled once, gobbles twice, gobbles the third time, and I'm like, all right, you're good. Stop.
Enough is enough.
It's like, I love hearing turkeys gobble, but stop that thing.
People can
Because-
hear you.
Yeah. And of course it's calm, so I know anybody can hear.
Right.
And he gobbled probably 15, 20 times on the limb. And I'm like, oh boy, what's this going to turn into? And I wasn't as tight as I thought I was when I sat down. He was a little bit farther, to where when he flew down, I didn't even hear him fly out.
Oh man.
But, and I'd usually, if I'd roost a bird, I'm a lot tighter than that. But
Did you think about moving at all? Like trying to get a little bit closer, or was it getting too light to be able to do that?
I was too close and it was way too light at that point.
Yeah.
But, and plus the ponds are real open. Now he's roosted in like some thicker, there's a little strip that's thicker timber. And he's like on the back side of it. If he'd have been right on the edge, which is what I was thinking, he'd have flown into the open ponds, which is what I thought he was going to do.
Yeah.
But that isn't what he did. And there's a little bit of a draw kind of between me and him that I thought he was on my side of the draw, and that's what threw me off. But either way, it was in a decent position still. While he was still in the tree, I answered him one time just on the trailing edge of his gobble, just that yelp, yelp, yelp. And then one time I tried to do a little tree yelp, and he did not answer it, but I figured he heard it, so I left it alone at that and hoped that he would, once he hit the ground and gobbled, that I'd be able to get him going. Well, he got really quiet, and once he was on the ground, tried to hit him, and he just didn't answer any of it. So I wasn't going to overload him. I just kept it light and hoping that would be enough. And then more time and time goes on. It's like, I don't know where this turkey is because I can't hear him drumming. I can't hear anything. I figured I'd be able to hear him drum as close as he was, but I could not. And then, I don't know, I think I went a half an hour without calling, and 8 o'clock hit, and I yelped, and this time I yelped with a little more inflection, like to really get on it,
Yep.
hoping to trigger him to gobble. And he gobbles, and he's farther away, but he's out in the pines. And I'm like, okay, at least you moved, and I got an idea where you're at. And as soon as he answered me, and he hit it hard, like he hit it like he meant it. And I just like did a quick 2-3 cuts on top of it, and then broke back into another yelp just as hard. And then a different bird gobbled, which was actually the original bird in the same spot close to where he had roosted. He gobbles, and then the bird down the timber gobbles just as hard at him. So at that point, I'm like, I got 2 turkeys that just gobbled all over me. I need to just shut up.
Yep.
It's like, I'm just going to wait and see what happens here. And within 5 minutes, I see a head pop out. I don't know, maybe 70 yards away, looking down in the draw a little bit, and it's wide open between me and him, just open pines. And then he looks for a second, then starts taking a few steps. I mean, he's coming kind of quick. And then I see a second head pop up. There's 2 turkeys. Like, awesome. They're coming. They kind of got to come down this draw. And I'd marked a spot. They were actually on the trail. I'd marked a spot. It's like, okay, that's inside 40. That's where I'm going to shoot them. You know, I'm not playing around. It's Louisiana.
Yeah.
First chance I get, I'm shooting. And they come all but running down the hill. And it's 2 longbeards just a swinging away. And then they get inside of that spot I'd marked. And now they kind of hit the bottom of the hill, and now they're starting to come up the hill. And it's just like, well, they're running at me. It's like, let them come.
Mm-hmm.
And then they kind of start getting behind the bank of the hill a little bit. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to lose these things, and they're going to pop up like 15 yards away. Like, this could be interesting. And they had to go behind a tree. When they cleared the tree, they were high enough above the bank that I could see them at that point. And I shot the first bird, and instantly he just goes down. and I don't see him. I see the one that flies, jumps up and flies, and I had to stand up to see him in the trail, and then I could breathe.
Yeah, I bet.
No dry heaving this time.
Actually, I sort of did, but when I started this trip, I had this weird little contagion going on where I've been hacking up a lung. I don't know what it is, but I'm getting better from it now. But for a few days there, I was really, really like hacking up all kinds of phlegm. And because I've been sitting there under that turkey for so long, I hadn't been able to cough.
Yeah.
So as soon as I got that bird, I was able to kind of cut loose, and I was hacking all kinds of stuff up. But I didn't care because I just killed a turkey in Louisiana.
Yep.
So awesome. We're just going to blame it on that high elevation of Louisiana.
Yeah, I don't think I can pull that one off.
You said there was a little mountain there that they had to come up. I mean, you might have been at like 6 feet.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh man, there's nothing worse though too when you're sitting there and you got a bird, and it happens to me every year because it's springtime and it's nice and cool out and everything. I seem to always get that like one cough that I can't get rid of, and you're sitting there and you're just trying not to cough, and it's the worst thing in the world, man.
Last year I had it so bad I couldn't hold it in. It just came out. Like I couldn't stop it, and I coughed, and I was like, oh, shoot. And the bird was like 60, 70 yards away working across our face. I'm like, man, well, I just blew it. I hit the call a couple times. He gobbled right away. I'm like, oh, well, maybe they don't care if humans cough while they're hunting them. I don't know. But, dude, there is nothing worse when you're turkey hunting than having a bad cough. Like the worst.
Yeah, I've been there all week. It's like I said, it's just getting better, just on the trail and edge of it. So
yeah, you're working.
I think when I started my drive, I stopped at a gas station on the way down and like grabbed a bottle of Dayquil just so I could, chug it throughout the week, and paid $17 for that bottle of Dayquil.
Oh, yeah.
Not recommended.
Got you good, man. They saw you coming from a long ways away.
That's like batteries at a gas station. Like $43.
The worst. I mean,
ridiculous.
It really is, but just trying to have like a cough drop in your mouth while you're trying to run a mouth call, that stuff is not, that's for the birds, man. That's not fun at all. Not even a little bit. Well, hey, that's check number 48 right there, man. Louisiana. Like that was arguably one of the tougher states, we'll just call it arguably one of the tougher states on the 3 left on the revenge tour, and you got it out of the way. So, I mean, it's gotta feel amazing when that relief. I could imagine just the stress coming off your shoulders the moment you saw that bird laying on the ground.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
that was a big one. That was a real big one.
Crazy. I mean, I just gotta ask, like, did you ever see yourself getting to this point, this soon? And are you finding yourself going through the kind of emotions and excitement that you thought you would?
It's kind of a weird feeling,
right?
Because you want it to be over, but you don't. There's so much that I've enjoyed while doing it. I mean, like the whole journey has just been incredible, and to be able to participate in something like this has been, I don't know, it means a lot to me. And like to think that that's coming to a close, like it's kind of sad in a way, but it's not. That's what you want. That's why we're here.
Right.
So, I mean, it's kind of a weird catch-all. I've had a couple people ask me, like, how does it feel you're, en route today? Like, how does it feel you're driving to the last one? And I was like, honestly, it just feels like driving to a new state.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't feel that different, oddly enough.
Good.
I don't know if that makes sense, but
no, that's great. No, I mean, have you talked to Bonce about it at all? About when he finished his, how kind of, how he went through the emotions, or, how he's kind of dealt with being done?
Well, Bonce and I are a little different in that regard because he's not done. He's got so many different ideas on continuing, because he really enjoyed the pressure of the slam. and he'll tell you, especially there at the end, like he really enjoyed that. He's got to do this, and this to be able to get to this, and
Yeah.
like he really lived for that aspect of it. Where I mean, to be honest, while I like it, I don't think that's my favorite part of it. Because sometimes I think it takes the fun out of it.
Yeah.
Pushing too hard. But it's an individual journey one way or the other. So, everybody's going to get something a little different out of it.
Sure.
But yeah, but I mean, now he's, trying to hit every Providence in Canada, and for sure he will go around and do the State Slam again.
Yeah.
Even joking with him about, you got 18 or 19 different states in Mexico that have turkeys.
Yeah, go get
So-
him.
He'll continue to find a way to challenge himself for the next thing.
Yeah.
100%.
I like
Whereas
the idea
me-
of the Canada one.
Oh yeah.
Sounds fun.
Oh.
Well.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's only 4.
Oh,
Yeah.
bummer.
Yeah, it's right now. Yeah, it's only 4, and he did mention they were going to they're trying to open up another Providence for hunting, I believe. If I
Yeah, New
Brunswick?
Brunswick is open this year. He'll be going there this year.
okay, yeah, that's what I thought I heard. That's
But he did Ontario and Quebec last year. He's doing British Columbia and New Brunswick this year.
That's
But
sweet.
still, you got quite a few of them left that don't offer it to non-residents. So
yeah, that's he's just going to have to become a Canadian resident then, I think, right? I mean, if he's really serious about this thing.
I wouldn't give him that idea. He probably already has it.
Yeah, he's probably already trying to figure that one out after the mess he had at the border with his turkey and whatnot. Like, it's such a, oh man,
Horrible what he had to go
Yeah.
through with that.
absolutely just a nightmare. Literally everyone's worst nightmare is what he had with his dang turkey just to get it back. Like, I don't know if that would put a really bad taste in my mouth to continue what he's going through, but God bless him
Yeah.
because he's doing it.
I mean, he had to drive back to Canada in the off season to pick up beards and spurs from a taxidermist
Yeah.
for doing the same thing he would do at home.
And spend
Like,
all
just-
that money and time and effort and then go through more paperwork afterwards.
Yep.
Poor Bonds. Poor Bonds. Well, you kind of answered my question that I really wanted to get to was like, you're in that mindset. You're heading to State 49, Kentucky. And if our good buddy Joey Bell, he'll tell you there's more birds in Kentucky than anywhere else on this planet, just so people will stay out of his home state.
He's told me.
Yeah. You should definitely take him up on that offer to kind of round them birds up and push them across state line to you.
Well, I just sent Jacob there. So Jacob will be in Tennessee Saturday morning. I'll be crossing Kentucky. So
Excellent.
he'll be driving over.
That's awesome. Yeah, because they do open up Saturday as well. That's right. A little later than usual. Well,
Yeah, shoot. When we did Tennessee, it opened in March.
yeah, it was a much earlier
Early.
season. Yeah, they pushed it back, which, I think some of the guys that are, like Joey, he would tell you it's probably for the better or, not really any negative effect to that. It's tough hunting early. It really is. I mean, our
Yeah.
season's in freaking May here in Pennsylvania, so we fully understand the late season style of hunting.
Yeah.
It can be advantageous. Right now, definitely you can go in the woods and bang 2 rocks together and probably kill a bird in our state. But, what fun is that?
Right.
What fun is that?
Oh,
Is that number 19 for Jacob? Is that going to be number
I thought it
19?
was-
Something like that?
Oh, if Tennessee had? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
He did. He killed in Georgia this morning,
Beautiful.
and that was 18.
Yep, saw that post. Good for him. Congrats to him. He's still working away at it, man. And to be honest, I love watching your guys' YouTube stuff, by the way. We got to shout that out. The Bayside Legion on YouTube. You guys are one of the top people I look forward to every spring for just nonstop content. I mean, I check every single day to see if a new episode's up. I can't get enough of it, man. So well done. And really thank you guys for putting up with the headaches of not only chasing the slam, but doing it on camera is just unheard of.
I appreciate that. And as you know, it's doing it on camera is not always our utmost priority.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I think that's probably why I appreciate it the most, because we're turkey hunters, man. We're we're not turkey filmers. We're turkey hunters. We want to hunt the turkey. And when it comes down to it, if you got to leave the camera behind and I'm watching you crawl up there with nothing more than a gun camera and a GoPro on your shoulder, that's real shit that I want to see. Yeah. I live for that stuff because it's something I would do.
Yeah, it's almost a running joke with us now. We'll kill a turkey, and if you get it on film, it's like, what do you think? However, man. Louisiana is on film.
Nice.
Ooh.
You really did. You really did just go into Louisiana and just say, "Hey, I'm coming for you, man." Got it done. Heck yeah, love that. But I in that Louisiana story that you were telling, I had an opinion question that popped up in my mind. I wrote it down. I want to come back to it. And this goes for all turkey hunting, not just Louisiana or wherever. But I need your opinion. What do you think is better if you get to the parking lot first? Is it better to be in the woods or be at your truck or in the parking lot when other people show up?
I tend to disappear because if I give the opportunity too many times, I'm let down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if you kind of disappear from your truck and you're not there to have that conversation, then they're left wondering. It's like, all right, he could be this way, he could be this way. And I hope that they make the right call. And I expect them not to, because you got to plan for the worst. But
yeah.
I mean, too many times I've met people at the trail and like, all right, where are you headed? Saying I'm heading over there. And next thing you know, we're piled on top of each other. And it's like,
yep.
What was the point of that?
Right. Yeah. I would tend to agree with you. And I picked that up in your story, how you mentioned that you were listening to gravel from in the woods when you were in there. And I was thinking, okay, the mindset that's a good one, because I know if I pull up and just like you said later in your story, you pulled up, there was a truck there, nobody in it. You're kind of wondering, well, where the heck is he? Is he in this way? Is he in over here? He could be anywhere. And you just drive off to the next spot. So I like.
Now, with that guy, if he'd have been in his truck, I'd have talked to him,
right, and
figured out where he was. And if it worked, if I could have worked, say, all right, would you care if I, went out at this angle and did this, and he was good with that, then I could have gone in. But without having that conversation, I'm not going to do that to a dude.
Right. Absolutely.
And I hope that somebody would do that to me.
Yeah.
That's what I hope for.
I feel the same way, but I can tell you how many times we've been there and pulled in and we were the first ones there, and literally guys come down the road and they pull in beside you like, we're still putting our vests on and everything else, and they don't even put their vest on. They just got in their hand and they take off into the woods without even talking. You're just like, oh man.
That has happened in the conversation thing too. Like once you start that conversation, it's a
downhill battle at that point.
It truly is. It's tough.
I mean, if you got two guys that are willing to make it work, then, and it's a big enough area, but I don't know, it can be frustrating sometimes.
Yeah. It's nice when you're the second guy in the parking lot, like you said, to talk to that guy if he's in your truck. It's nice in that aspect of it, but the opposite, it does tend to seem like they just pick your brain for where you're going and they tell you they're going somewhere else, and then they end up on top of you and you're hunting the same bird. It happens all the time. It's crazy. Or
they'll say, oh yeah, that's where I'm headed.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's where I was planning on going too. I'm just like, well,
just told you that's where I was going. Yep. I'll be there. Like, all right, thanks.
I guess I'll go somewhere else, even though I've been waiting here for half an hour.
I did that my first year in Florida, because it's a gate release. So I'd been waiting at the gate. I was probably third or fourth in line or something, and got to the parking area I wanted to first, but then because they released 30 cars all at one shot,
Right.
I got somebody pulling in before I get a chance to go away, and had that conversation, like, where are you headed? And say, this is where I'm headed, and even looked at a map. He says, oh yeah. He says, I'll be there. He had a bike. I didn't.
Oh,
Yeah, he's gonna beat you in there probably.
He crushed me. I didn't have a chance.
What do you mean you're not an
Tell you
Olympic
what.
runner?
I bought a bike that night.
Great idea.
Learned that lesson real quick.
Oh, that is so good. Well, man, hey, look, we've had you for about an hour. I don't want to take up any more of your time. I know you're on the road. You're head to Kentucky. I just want to wish you the best of luck. Man, I will be scouring social media, just waiting to see the results. Best of luck, man. Get after it. I know you will, and I just can't wait. Austin.
I think I'm going to wait a month to post anything just to.
Come on, man.
oh man.
That'll eat me from the inside out. That would literally, I would probably just like deteriorate.
Now, I don't know if you know this, but Bonts and I have a really, really horrible history of repeating each other's successes and failures over the years. So I am fully anticipating missing on my 49th birthday.
Oh no.
I don't want to bring that up, and I didn't want to bring up how many days it took him in our state here at Pennsylvania, number 49, because we don't want that bad juju. We don't want to talk anything into existence here. Okay, we're bringing good vibes, good luck of the podcast to you.
Derek, if you got any wood in that truck, you gotta start knocking on it right now, dude.
I figure if I expect it, there's only so much that can happen.
There you go. Can't be surprised if you're expecting it. Well, hey,
Yep.
Deep breaths, nice little exhale, squeeze the trigger. You got this.
I appreciate that, sir.
Absolutely. And we appreciate you, man. Anything that we missed on this journey so far that you really want to just get out there?
It's been a long journey. I've loved every minute of it. With the good, bad, the ugly of it. It's been a hell of an experience, and I certainly understand why more and more people are getting involved in this, because it's truly remarkable. So
Yeah,
that's all I got. It's been a fun one.
That's a beautiful thing, man. I really do. I'm the same as Chuck. I really appreciate you taking time out of your night, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens too, man. But thank you very much for coming on again.
Absolutely.
All right, brother. I appreciate you. Get after it. Safe travels. Get to Kentucky safe. Get some sleep. Go find some birds.
All right. Good luck to you fellas too.
Thanks, man. Take it easy.
Take it easy.